Hello, everybody. My name is Hello. Welcome back to the series where we're dealing with programming and design patterns specifically in Python. Today, we're going to be talking about the observer pattern. It's a very, very simple pattern. Let's go ahead and see. And this is one such pattern where we have to open the whiteboard. So, we're talking about the observer pattern today. Give me a second. Let's say I run a shopping application, say like Amazon. Okay. There's a lot of users of Amazon, right? So, this is user one, and similarly there's user 2 and there's user 3. Now whenever there's a sale in Amazon, you guys have noticed that you get a notification on your phone. So not only you, all the users of Amazon will get a notification whenever they're running a huge sale or a huge event, for example. How does that happen? Well, that's where the observer pattern comes into play. Now these users are observers to Amazon, okay, the shopping site. And whenever Amazon undergoes an event, right, they can choose to notify its observers. Okay. The crux of the observer pattern is this. So whenever they have a sale, what Amazon will do is they will ping each of the user and they will notify the user. So you might ask, Vishnu, how will Amazon in this case keep track of the users? Well, they'll have something in Python. Let's say they have a list of all the users. So users will be a user will be a class, and a particular user will become an instance of that class. And once that instance of the class will be stored here, and if you want to break this down further into how will the code look like, every user will have let's say an alert functionality. For example, what we will do while notifying people is we'll just iterate over this particular list and we'll go over each element. From there we'll call their alert function, which will say your name, your age, whatever that is. You'll say there's a sale going on, they have 50% off, something like that. And we'll also maybe log the event itself so that we have a set of when these events are happening, so that Amazon can take care of that also or look into that. So this is what we're going to be doing today. Again, very simple concept that we're going to be dealing with today. The main part that you have to take away is these users, they are observers of Amazon, and once an event comes, we go ahead and notify all the observers observing that particular thing. Something to keep in mind that this follows a one to many relation. That is, there are many observers for one event. Okay, that is also something that you need to keep in mind. Let us go ahead and see what this looks like in code. As we discussed before, something that we talked about is we need a user class first. User class, and this will be Python 3.10. I'm going to go ahead quickly create one user class. So we'll do class. Let's say every user has one first name and a last name, and we discussed that there should be an alert function with some message. What we'll do is we'll just print out and we'll say this particular user's name, dear self dot first name space self dot last name, and let us go ahead and put the message that we'll get from the event itself. Now let's go ahead and create a class for Amazon as well, which is the shopping app in this case. So in Amazon, as we discussed, there'll be two lists that we'll be using. So one list will be the users that subscribe to Amazon, and another would be the events that Amazon conducts, so that they can keep track of that also. Now since we have these users, something that we need to do is how do you add user, and how do you notify this user, and how do you add an event. So let's start with adding a user, and this will be simple. And you have this user also, which is an object of the user class. We can simply go ahead and do self.users.append of this user. Okay, no, let's deal with notifications then. Okay, so define notify, and that will be, and then the message. Okay, so what this will do is we'll do for user in self dot users. This will go ahead and do user dot alert. This is the function we'll be calling in the user objects, and we will pass the message along with that, since we are using the message parameter here. And this is what notify looks like. And now what does adding an event look like? So add event would be self, so that'll be event name, then date probably, and a message. What this will do is this will first create an entry in the events list. So we'll just add maybe something like name comma date, right? And then we can use the self dot notify function to and pass the message so that we can notify all the users. Okay, now we can probably add some print statements. So creating event, and then we can create something like created event successfully notifying the users. Okay, this is something that we can do. Now once we run all of this, you see that the code has gone through. Let's go ahead and create some classes and see what this looks like. So I'm going to create 3 users. So let's say user 1 would be me and just okay, and then I'll do 2 more users. So this will be John Cena and maybe somebody else, Naruto Uzumaki. Okay, we have 3 users. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an instance of this shopping application, which is Amazon also. So I'll just create an object for Amazon. Now I will go ahead and add user. I'll add u1. Similarly, I'm going to go ahead and add u2 and u3 also. These are 3 users that are added. Something that we can do is we can also print user added successfully. Okay, so that we can add this particular user. Okay, so that is also added. Once that goes through, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an event. Okay, let's create an event to see if notifications go through. Okay, so now I am going to create an event, and there's a name for the event, sale. Let's call that, let's just state will be 1st June for instance, and flat 50% off, hurry, something like that. We'll create a message also. Now what do you think will happen when I run this code? First, these users are created, then these users are added into this platform, then this event is created that should ping my users, thereby going through this observer pattern that we just defined. So if I run this, you can see that created event successfully, notifying the users, flat 50% off Arif, and John Cena flat 50% off, Naruto Uzumaki flat 50% off. Now you might ask, we added this line here, why is this not coming in the output? That's because I didn't run the code after I added that. So if I rerun the code, you can see that the users are added successfully, those 3 users, then it's creating the event. Once it creates the event, it notifies the user, then it says these are the dear user. For each of those observers, it gives you a notification. Now we can actually go ahead and see the events also. You can see that the sale in 1st June is something that is noted, that is recorded in the events list. So that's it. Very, very simple process. This is the observer pattern. I hope this video helped you. If it did, hit that like button. If you guys have any questions about this or design patterns in general, please let them know in the comments so that somebody can answer or I can answer when I do get the time. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in another video. Again, if this video helped you, hit that like button. Bye.